Hey, my name's John, and we're driving up to the Arctic Circle. I made a promise to myself that I'm gonna do these all in one take, so if I'm terrible at this, you get to enjoy that with me. All right, so welcome. This is what I'm driving up, and I got a Dodge Ram 3500. You gotta say it with the accent. It is a van conversion by Leisure Travel Vans. Oh, I don't know if I can swap live. Well, we're shooting like this. All right. This thing has 250,000 clicks on it and probably a few more to go. We'll see if it makes it. Honestly, I've rebuilt half of the engine. I put a whole new intake on it, new plenum. So for those of you know, there basically is a plenum that sits between the engine where the oil is and then the air intake. And this guy had it bad, so it basically lost it entirely. And so every time you put your foot down, all it did was burn oil. It burned almost as much oil as it did gas when I first bought it. But now it seems to be not burning all that much. So let's take a look. Quick tour inside. All right, nice and dark in here, perfect. Turn on some lights. Well, they don't do much, do they? All right, so this is the interior of the Dodge Ram 3500. The comfortable looking couch like your grandmother's house. We got a CB radio I've installed. We got a reverse camera backup thing by Wolfbox. Yeah, pretty Spartan apart from that. Nice and cozy. We got airbag suspension on the bottom, so I can control that down there, so at least the back end doesn't get as floppy as it should be. All right, pantry setup over here. More pantry over here. Nice slide out door with all your stuff. Storage. We got a microwave here, so this works when you're on shore power. So most of the time I'm not going to have that working. Same here with the coffee machine. This actually works. I've tested it. It works great. Inside here we got, well, that's not very useful, but here's a bathroom, which I'm also not going to use because the first time I turned it on, I didn't use it. I was smart about that. I turned it on and ran some water through the system, and then everything just poured out the bottom. So that could have been a unfortunate event for some people. Bunch of storage. We got a whole bunch of hanging room in here. I actually haven't even filled that up yet. Lots of space. And then these guys actually fold out for when you're using the bathroom and the shower, but again, there is a shower. I'll show you on that side. Here it is. I'm not going to be using that because the water system doesn't work, and I'm going to be responsible and not just pour sewage water all over the floor for people. On this side, we got a fridge. This fridge actually works on propane, so it actually is pretty good. The unfortunate part is this car no longer has a propane tank because the previous owner removed it. I'm guessing it rusted out. I actually get that. That happens pretty frequently. And then we also have a propane stove. So the super sketchy way that they've rigged it up is that behind the driver's seat here, all the way down here, we've got a gas line hookup and a propane tank. So if you're in an accident, you get to enjoy that. Anyway, I'm not using that. That's actually empty. It's not going to live there. I'm going to put it in the trunk somewhere. Okay, and then we got the bed here. So currently it's in bed mode, but we can also go down here, find the switch, and bring it up into seating mode. I'm waiting for your oohs and ahs right now. I hope that was exciting for you guys as it was for me. And then once you sit back down over here, we have some tables that we can set up. So actually pretty comfortable. You can set up a laptop here and get some work done. Above me, we actually have an air conditioner. Again, this only works on shore power. So that's when you're plugged into basically a house or a campsite. So that actually works really nice. I will be using that whenever I can, although it's going to be cold on our trip, so I'm actually have to be warmer than colder. This guy does have a hot mode, or a heat mode, so that way we can actually, I cannot die in the cold. That'll be nice. A little bits of storage. These are drop down. They have all my underwear and socks in there. Got a little pantry up here with some pots and pans. And then over here is my super unprofessional power hookup. So I have my Starlink hooked up here. I got a couple different things charging in here, a power brick and all that. So anytime I need to plug in something in, that's the area. Over here underneath the sink, again, not using because the water sucks. We have the whole power system. So this actually is all working great. All the electronics on board have no problems. Down here, actually, there's a full electrical panel as well. So when you're hooked up to shore power, you actually have like your own safety system, so you're not just relying on some sketchy plug in the wall. And then we have an exhaust panel on the roof. This guy's actually really nice. You can crank it all the way up when you have the windows open. It gets nice and cool. I have a TV set up here. I actually plugged in Chromecast and it works great. When you hook it up to the Starlink, you can stream like 4K videos on this 480p screen, so it looks fantastic. And I think that's most of it. We go through, turn off the lights, we'll go back to the outside. Lots of storage all over this place. This is a tire inflator, car starter, just in case. Oh, I have a whole mechanics kit in here as well, in case anything does break. On the roof, which you can't see, so it's, I'll just see how high you can get up. I've got my Starlink, I've got a CB antenna, I've got AM, FM radios. I actually have a TV antenna as well, which is half broken off. That way it looks like this crazy little dagger at the top, like a little shark fin. That's just because it's broken. Not supposed to look like that. All right, so 250,000 kilometers on this thing, another 16 to go. And then if it blows up, I mean, it blows up. Or I'm just hoping it lasts that long. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Anyway, I think that's mostly it. So I am going to cut here, and then we're going to walk around and look at my dad's vehicle, which I'm sure y'all are excited about. His little roadster that he's driving another 16,000 kilometers with. So I'll be right back. So when I was talking about reliability issues, I wasn't kidding. I actually just sat back down in. I'm going to turn it back around and put it back in the lot. But it's making that interesting noise, a nice humming. But the thing's not starting at this point. So we got some early diagnostics to do. No power on the dash. Looks like that's just not happy at all, not doing anything. Let's see if it's the brake switch. I'm going to swap it into neutral. So it doesn't seem like it's the park or neutral detection that's not working either. What happened is when I tried to turn it on, it actually just slowly died. So what I'm actually guessing is we're out of power entirely on the meter. So we're gonna have to see what's going on there. So let's jump the hood open and let's take a look. So I've hooked up the Wolf box. Go figure that it makes a cameo in the first video. I'm gonna turn that on. It's on boost. It doesn't tell me what it's doing, so it's not very useful, but let's go see if that is going to give us a little power. I want to hear all the systems kick on. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so it cut out. So we have power, and then it cuts when I go into drive, which makes me think it might be the key itself, because it seemed to be fine just for a second there, and then it cut off. Okay, so we had power for a second, so there's clearly a loose ground. My foot's been hitting something as I've been driving. I wonder if there's something under there. Well, there's certainly a wire that's not connected to something. Couldn't be that simple, could it? No, that's just going to the brake controller. There's a trailer brake controller right here, and I believe that's where that wire is going. If not, we'll trace that back. I don't see anything that's obvious under here. All right, more diagnostics. Just turn that juice cable or the power bank on again. I'm hearing this is a good noise. This means that the alarm system's working. Everything's juicing back on. Okay, here we go. So we're running. Let's take a look at that volt gauge. So we're running a little low, between 8 and 18. We're at just over 12, it looks like. So it is working. We have connection. I just drove an hour to get here, so at least I trust the engine that far, but the charging system might be taking a bit of a beating. So, well, first hurdle, seemed to figure it out. Let's jet back in later. All right, on to my dad's car now. All right, continuing with no cuts. My dad wanted to be in the video because he figured if I got famous, he needed to as well. So he's going to walk you through his 1968 MGB. In case you forget, it's on the tag.
Hey, we're all famous. So, yeah, the car is set up. I put a rock shield underneath it to prevent any gravel and crap from taking out the oil pan or the transmission. As you can see under there, maybe?
Yeah, no, not at all, but perfect. Okay.
First it's got a roll bar. Inside I've got a CB mounted. And being a very small car, you can see how absolutely jammed the trunk is. It's absolutely full with roofs and luggage and everything else. A whole bunch of tools, spare parts, pretty well everything you need for a 68 or 58-year-old car if it breaks down in the middle of nowhere. Also got some really gnarly all-season tires on it. which hopefully will keep the gravel at bay as we go up the Dempster Highway. So we leave tomorrow, and what is it, 14,000 kilometers or something round trip?
I'm calling it 16, but you can go
16?
less.
Okay.
But you're going in miles, so it's going to be less.
Yeah, okay. So I'll get there before you will.
Yeah.
Because it's shorter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a heck of a trip. We're both a little nervous, and hey, we'll see you on the road.
All right. We'll see y'all there. So I realized I never really talked about why we're going on this trip. There's the camera. Honestly, there's not really a strong reason. We just wanted something to do. You know, my dad's set up a few challenges for himself over the few years, and this is one he kind of invited the rest of the family onto. I think last year or the year before, I'm bad with dates, he drove to Vancouver in his MG. So he's actually pretty seasoned at this. He's done this a few times. But this year we wanted to go further, bigger challenge, bring the whole family along and see how far we can get. So really, that's kind of it. It's just you got to set yourself a deadline, a goal, and go for it, and plan around all the events you can just to see if you can do it. Otherwise, you'll never get up to these kinds of adventures. So yeah, just wanted to share that. So follow along. We got like stickers made, like Tucker Bust is the name of the trip. So yeah, come subscribe and check out how this venture goes. I don't really care about people following me. Like that's not the point. The point is just to share the adventure. So if you enjoy it, come check it out. I'll see you guys later. Bye.